Doug, a lot of people contact our law firm while they're going through a crisis. What advice or tips do you have somebody, just briefly here, to give them a few ideas for how to deal with this overwhelming situation?
Yeah. The main thing that I tell people is time. Don't make any rash decisions, because whether they're going through a divorce or financial devastation or any crisis, there's emotion involved. A lot of times there's anger involved if it is divorce or financial, and they act in a manner which they might not act if they were not going through that crisis, you know.
Sure.
So they're acting on their emotions. So that would be one tip, is to just take time to let your emotions settle. I've seen a lot of people do things out of anger through divorce, and I'm sure you've seen that too, where they just, the money just goes down the toilet, so to speak, because they're fighting and they're intentionally trying to hurt the other person.
And it's more than spending money on attorney's fees. Sometimes one party will just start spending like crazy to hurt the other one, but it then affects the kids.
Right.
There's less money to go around afterwards. What about the value of a listening ear? Where do you find somebody who can listen?
Well, that was the other tip I was going to throw out there, is if you can get a listening ear to somebody that is outside of your family, your friends, somebody that is, they're not biased, in other words.
Right.
And so Hope360.org would be that place where you have somebody that has shared their story and they've been through maybe a similar crisis as you, and they're a listening ear, and they have no vested interest in what way you make decisions, other than they care about you, because the Hope360 storytellers, they have a heart of gold, they want to help others, and so they're there at a non-biased, position, just to listen, and if they offer, or if they ask, to give practical advice, or just their experience of what they went through and how they got through it. And there's just so much value in that, I think.
I've heard professional counselors say that as well, that if people who are going through a crisis meet with friends and family, although those people are very sympathetic, they also have memories. And so after a person has dealt with an issue and moved on, the friends and family still have to deal with all those emotions and those feelings, and the memories may come back, and they come back to haunt the relationship. And rather than dumping all that on people immediately close to you, sometimes there's great value in dumping it on a professional counselor or a listening ear, like the folks in your organization.
We have our Hope360 storytellers, the people that come and share their story of hope, sign an agreement that this is what they are. They're a listening ear. Everything is confidential, so they don't share it with anybody else, unless it's a life and death situation.
Sure.
But everything's confidential. So that way, like you said, the person in need can share anything they want with a Hope360 storyteller, and rest assured that it's confident. And then where their family's over here, when things get restored or whatever the situation is, there's not that issue where they've shared everything and now the family might still be dealing with whatever it is. There's a lot of different scenarios, so that's a positive as well.
Do you ever get people who contact you because they're going through the death of a loved one?
I have. It's been interesting. I have not experienced that.
Yeah.
But yet I've had a lot of people contact me that have had crisis, a lot of different crisis, death of a loved one, and a lot of different things, cancer, that I can't relate to. But I think the main thing that we have in common, and the reason they reach out, is hope. They're looking for hope. I've been through a crisis, they're going through a crisis. It's different, but yet we have this common bond that we're both at one time seeking hope. And so I have had numerous people contact.
So help me understand then, the hope, since your crisis may be different, the hope is knowing you'll make it through, you can survive this, life will get back to some semblance of normal, you will have good days again. there may be pain for a while, but eventually you'll make it.
Exactly.
And so just hang in there.
Yeah, because I remember the first night that my kids did not sleep at my house. We got divorced, and they were out from underneath my care and my protection. And I remember thinking, Aaron, how am I going to make it, not just through this night, but how am I going to make it through this next month, this next summer? And all these things, how am I going to make it during their baseball seasons, and what am I going to do there? And I remember just thinking, I can't do, this is it. My life is ruined.
Right.
There's no hope. And I knew there was hope, but that's how I felt, you know? So I think, boy, if somebody else at that point came alongside of me and said, hey, I was there. Unfortunately, I didn't have that exact scenario. I had a lot of people around me, you know, praying for me, helping me any way they could. But there's just so much value in having somebody that went through it, that is sitting right there next to you in your presence, saying, yep, I get it, and I was there, and here's what I went through, and here's where I'm at now.
Right.
And there is hope. You can get through it.
If somebody's watching this video right now and they are going through a crisis, how would you like them to connect with your organization? Do you recommend just go to the website, hope360.org, and watch the video?
Yeah, the best way for somebody to connect is just go to the website, hope360.org, and find a story on there that they can relate to.
Okay.
And if there's not one up there yet that they can relate to, watch one of the other stories and just reach out. There's a connection button on each Hope 360 Storyteller's webpage,
Right.
and you can connect with that person. But I think if you watch the video, the videos are so intimately done, and they're so up front close into the eyes of the person that you almost feel like you know the person by the time you're meeting them in person, face to face.
Right.
So there's that connection there. So I would say yes, go to the website, watch a story, and then connect with somebody at that point.
And those who have survived a crisis, who would like to get involved, contact you as well, I imagine.
Yep, there's actually a page on our website titled Becoming a Hope 360 Storyteller.
Okay.
And gives a little bit of information of what that looks like, who should become a Hope 360 Storyteller, maybe who shouldn't.
Right.
And then if they want more information, just contact us.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a
Sounds
process
good.
from there.
Is there anything else that you would like to share about the organization or pass along to people who are going through a crisis?
You know, I would just say don't hesitate to reach out to us, because I feel like you shouldn't have to do life alone, no matter what situation you're in, and you can't do life alone.
Right.
And so I would not hesitate to go on the site, like I said, watch a story, and just reach out to one of us. I'm a storyteller as well. You know, reach out to one of us, whether it's an email or a phone call or what have you. And even if we can just ask you, what's one thing that we can pray for you for, you know, and just help you in that manner.
Yeah.
So it's pretty great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.